Hey guys, and welcome back to Exchange Sidings. We are now in 1894. So next year we'll be getting some new coaching stock for the British coaching stock at least. The dawn of the bogey coach approaches, but we are currently at Grantham, and what's this? I think Bloody's got a little bit tired of everyone, is that one of his Grantham Fort Fodridge? Why is that? Oh, it's the... Where are you going? Oh, you're a goods train. You'd make deliveries to Fodridge. I mean, okay. There were plans with that, though, and even I know there were plans with that. But no, we are currently at Grantham, and this is the new harbour facilities at Grantham Docks. Ignore that that's a graphical glitch in my system. For some reason, shadows for tunnels and stuff appear way up in the sky. Right. Whoa. Where do you run from? Oh, you run from the goods factory there. And that's been the bridge that's been rebuilt so it can get out, so it's capable for shipping. This goods station needs redeveloping. Prefer sooner rather than later. But meanwhile, yeah, we've got a lot capable of doing, and another sawmill's been connected. There's a lot to do, and well, as in that facility is just I could sit here and watch trains coming in and out of it all day, and that is going to be mega once that actually looks right. But I'm going to continue with certain parts that I've been working on as of late. A quick side note to yourself, Wolfgang. Haverhill. I do like the junction. However, I did notice an issue with one of the timetablings. The Woodhead line was... I just fixed this because it was something I could easily have fixed. I easily fixed. You got two stations the wrong way round. And why have I suddenly got trains complaining? No, you do have a path. You're just not using it. Good. Right. But I have an idea for this. And all of this. But I don't think I'll do it today because I'll need to sit down and plan it and do this all on a pause, essentially. There's been some rules changes and the like. One of them being that we can actually now, if it's infrastructure that's already existing, we can pause the game to rebuild it. However, but that's within the a trade-off of that's the only thing you can really do. Cobra is working well. There's extremely high passenger densities for the Woodhead line. That is something I want to address today. That's the mainline semi-fast. That is 60 mile an hour limited. Okay. But no, the Woodhead line is something I do want to amend today. I've got Goods trains mixing. Here it is, one of the Woodhead passenger lines. Why are you so underperforming? The line itself is down nearly 2 million. Firstly, let's replace the trains. See if that will help. Because we now have 440s. They came in actually this year. Right. See if a turn of speed will improve the capabilities of this line. And also, I mean, they do have commuting stuff within reason. I am going to upgrade them to the Landauer. Because I bet these haven't been touched since they were introduced. Stratford's kind of Woodhead has expanded fairly well. It's also got a you also have a fair amount. I'm tempted to make that a bridge. With the amount of yeah, I'm gonna make that a bridge. The amount of road traffic we've got there. Barton on Humber as well does need better commuter traffic in itself. Or better public transport connection. Why are you dipping like that? Ooh! This is a lot of money I'm spending on just installing a single bridge. Knowing that the game's about to be an absolute cockfoster about this, and then fucking mess this town up in the most unholy way imaginable. But all for a nice looking bridge. Why have you come up? That's just going to cause traffic later on. Yeah. And at the same time, because I know I've broken this to a degree, that's going to stop the game from trying to build there. I could be cheeky and do that. Now, didn't realise that I was going to end up doing all of this at bleeding Haverhill. Okay, so we're going to have one turnout. And as well, prepare it for light rail if I ever choose to, or if anyone else ever chooses to. Or terminals. Yeah, just build the lot, because in Church Road you're going to go out to. Yeah, I've worked it out. Yeah, I've worked this out. Thank you, also. So I've never noticed you were there. Yeah. Manage line. L1. And then you want to, yeah, and then return you through there. At the same time, the clockwise. Once you get to Windsor Road, you come back through Church Street. Go through there. On line 2. This will just, yeah, it'll justify that. That's a bus stop there that's somewhat usable. At the same time, upgrade these. Because Haverhill's big enough that it could justify having more than one route. Or more than one, when I mean route as in having, because it's already got one clockwise. It's got one circular there, technically. If you went around the old town. which I will use that one. Yeah, okay. Yeah, actually, no, these both skip Churchgate. Yeah, these skip Church Road. They'll go through it, but they'll skip it. Partly because Church Road, these have got some pretty big catchment. And that road probably needs having a bridge on it. That's 300,000. You can pull the trigger then, mate. Yeah. Now, I do want to go over if I can. That could be quaint, but missing. But actually, what I want. Let's hit this back up a touch further and clean that up. Clean that up by going. Yeah, you can stay on the ground. Yeah, and then we go across the flat. Yeah. Straight. Straight and short. Why are you trying to be so lumpy? Don't be lumpy. Yeah? Yeah, and then return to the other side. Once you've got the flat section of the bridge you want. Oh, actually, no. So go flat. I want... Go back to the vanilla stone arch. Why are you trying to curve? Go straight. That's being lumpy, but that's not. But I don't necessarily want to be. Oh yeah, that's better. Yeah. That's just so I can get, you know, just a little bit more town connected in. Yeah, because I can get, because that ain't got connected and that ain't connected. And if I can then connect those in with trams, buildings, build electric tram track. Right. How am I gonna want to do this? I think the route should follow something like that. For that one. And over here, it just goes around, it goes around the edge. Yeah, it just goes around the edge. And then comes back. Right. So that is, we'll call that the Haverhill Old Town Outer Loop NT. The Old Town Outer Loop clockwise. They can stay their same names. The tram's going to share that route out. Yeah, the tram's gonna follow this route out once. Yeah, thank you. Autosave. And this is the Haverhill. Yeah, the Haverhill refinery loop. And this is Haverhill Upper Loop. Double P. I think it's double P. If someone can spell check that and correct me later, I reckon. At the same time, I do want tram access to there, so trams can at least get out. At the same time, I'm actually going to upgrade these trams, the ones on the shuttle. And they're going to get upgraded to 6-car trains. At the same time, the trams in question are just going to be these ones. Haverhill Refinery Loop. And Haverhill Upper Loop. They're going to get my typical suburban colours. And the vehicles are going to get a spot of paint. So that's the refinery loop, so they actually can be a deeper colour. Because they're good to the poor people. And then these ones can have a brighter colour because they go to the posh totties. And it's a posh totty tram that comes out first. Followed by a porter. Yeah, that's going well. And that should start bringing more passengers to here, whilst also potentially taking more people away from the road. Because there is a rather heavy amount of road traffic here. Where are they going? Right, they're going into town. A lot of them are going either in or out of town. So adding road transportation should help. Speaking of which, there's already people here for the respected lines, even before the trams have even got out here. I reckon some of the ones for the refinery loop will almost immediately jump into work and because they'll try and scatter themselves. Or not. No, where's Chester Road? Oh, no, you are. Here, you're going to... You are, at least. But yeah, here we are with actual yeah, with the trams and the buses and the buses and the trams all coming into... What are you doing there? Get out of here. But yeah, that's cleaned Haverhill up a bit and added some onward connections. Right, on to the next one. Stratford, again, fairly large town. A lot of people wanting to head toward, but in this case, a lot of people want to head towards Haverhill. Nearly 200 people. That's partly because I bet we've had a passenger train go through and yeah, they've just swallowed everyone. Yeah, so the trams essentially disperse themselves throughout the town, throughout Woodhead. I'll leave that and come back to it. Right, Great Torrington. You have issues regarding passenger flow as well. What is your scores like? With yourself, only 19. And you're having issues with Shaftesbury because with only 20% of the people. No, 15% of all people wanting to travel via Shaftesbury are choosing to do it via public transit. Pretty much exclusively me, because I'm the only one operating out of that, so that will take you in and out of Torrington. Yeah, in and out of Towton. Which isn't bad, but if I can find a way to improve that, I will. And I pretty much know the way I'm going to go about that. Firstly, no, also small. Second, take that up there. Now, I need to make sure this river is navigable by boat. So, there is that concern. So I need to make sure if I do build anything over, it needs to clear it. And if it goes under, it also needs to clear the minimum depth. Which means that's why the bridges here look ugly as sin. So that's the edge of the landmass. I want to take it level. Arguably and legally speaking, that's fine, but I'm going to put a lump in it. I'm actually going to change the bridge span. It's a large, nice sandstone block. I changed the angle. There we go. Yeah, and now bring it down in a curve. So, just there we are. I don't like how that looks. Does that look smoother? That looks much smoother. How's that? That also looks great. And it's high enough that it can clear the... Yeah, the coasters can clear. Now, do I make it a small road? Or do I make it a medium road? Knowing that it would probably take a hell of a lot more traffic than it probably should, I'm going to make it a medium. In the meantime, I'm going to take it that way with that. You're going to connect on over there with that at 90. And then you're going to connect up from there like that. That looks acceptable. Upgrade that to a medium. Now, Great Torrington. Or is it Torrington? Yeah, the Great Torrington. Upgrade the road station. Streets, buildings, passengers. I'm gonna use one of these again. Just tram the whole thing. Jesus, that Shaftesbury's massive. Shaftesbury's huge. It's practically connected to a Paldenham. With that in mind, I might actually upgrade the service to Northampton with that. Just rebuild Shaftesbury Station because there's space, and therefore with an increased... Yeah, I know you're complaining. How am I gonna... Yeah, there we are. Yeah, do that. Have these come in like so. Yeah, like that. yeah, buses aren't running in frequently alongside the rail line. Yeah, so let's build this out. You terminals. Yeah, have those two coming on two. Yeah, I figured this out now. Okay, this is going to work out well. Yeah, you both go in on two. That leaves 1, 3. Me to go 1, 2. So this is the MCR. Now, I know this is going to probably be extremely popular because I can do market research here real quick. Filter by Shaftesbury, 25 people. That's gonna spike, I reckon. Want to make sure they can carry 6. 25 is only 4 of them. I'm gonna take 50. I'm gonna put 15 on the route. So yeah, these get converted to the urban bright red, because that's technically a regional that comes that color. So that, yeah, runs just in and out. Now, there is allegedly already a stagecoach route that runs between that Shaftesbury transfer and over there. That's acceptable. But at the same time, I want to have buses penetrating deeper into Shaftesbury, because if I check Shaftesbury right now, destinations, let's check itself. Itself, 2%. 800 people are trying to move about at any one time here. That is going to become a traffic nightmare if we leave it to develop like that. This is going to start at Shaftesbury. We're going out 4. Shaftesbury 3. Yeah. Yeah, and that'll turn you around. And then you come back into Shaftesbury 4. So, it is only one route. It's an extremely long route. But it runs straight through the heart of the town, loops around at each end. So this is going to be so what I'm going to call this the Shaftesbury. Yeah, the Shaftesbury North-South artery. Because it's going to be the arterial bus route north to south to north. That is going to need a ridiculous amount of buses on it, though. I'm already thinking it's going to need like 30 buses on it. Yeah, 30 buses only bring it to 108 capacity. Same time, these trains are running at 54 capacity, but I think I can easily expand them. Steam. Yeah, take them up to 96. How many trains run on that line? Only 4. Manage vehicles. 2 more on. Yeah, increasing that to 96. But that's just one arterial route. At the same time, I also do want to increase capacity on... Yeah, I'm going to increase capacity on this section. It's nowhere near going to need as many. Let's see how lower Shaftesbury Loop. Yeah, that can only, that'll all have, we'll go to a more mundane 5 on that. 10 because they are only shitty 6 passenger, 6 faithful buses. And you're going on the lower loop. I'd use both lanes. Yeah, the 12 mile, they're literally not much faster than a fucking powered stagecoach. They are just essentially a petrol-driven stagecoach. In every sense of the word, a self-propelled stagecoach. I actually do want to keep that. So I'll deal with that shortly. So now buses are turning up on the, and they're turning up for the artillery. Not artery. Why did I just say artillery? They're not guns. But now, buildings. But that's saturated everything in this direction. I want to also occupy some of this. So, road vehicles, buildings, passenger. Oh, no, it's the other way. Got 3 plus. 2 fit. Okay, so we have 2 there. It's gonna be quite. Yes, it's gonna be quite the hub. Another 2 there. So that's an additional 4 routes. Or I could just centralize it and just put. Yeah, no, put 4 in there. Streets. Schools. Because if anyone wants to, they can just put tram. They can also put another stop in and make tram routes. And also for the sake that trams are just better at this point in the game, I am going to also use trams actually. So I've got 4 routes to, or potentially 2 if I choose to use loops. If I use point to point, I can make 2. But I'm going to use point to point. Have you come up to here? Yeah. That is an interesting road layout. Yeah, I have one on that tier. One out on... Yeah, one go out to there, one go out to there. One can weave its way up these streets. Up to here. Yeah, and one runs itself over to there. Yeah, that works. Yeah, there we are. Do that. And yeah, that's one route. The next one... There we are. And the one last one here. Yeah, okay. Don't ask. Right. So for the longest routes, there... No, everything's just going to get 10. New line. That'll be fixed shortly. Yeah, York Road. Yeah, that works. MCL Woodhead. No, it's not Woodhead. This is Shaftesbury. And then where does this go up to? It goes up to St. John's Road. Queensway Loop. And that goes up to, yeah, the Broadway line. Clearly somewhere hasn't been electrified. How about here? Better? So you should have 110, 110, 220. renowned around the world from diamonds. So, why have I got... Yes. It has the artery. That makes sense why. Then why have I not got 5 lines in return? Now let's break this down one by one. So Shaftesbury Loop, yes. Broadway line, yes. Queen's Loop, yes. St. John's Road also doesn't call back here. Why does it not? Where does it stop? What's at Church Road? What about York Road? Yeah, so they should all be fine now. What's the frequency like on that? 97 seconds. Acceptable. But this is the kind of traffic I was on about when it comes to here. It's just, look at this. Where... I mean... Yeah, so Elton... Yeah, to get to Eton, it's dropped to 97. Great Torrington is out to 64. With... then you've got Powdham, which is only at... Powdham's only at a 46% line usage. Details. Line details. Got a 5-minute frequency. What's the artillery? The artery line. That's got a 42-second frequency. But yeah, look, here's an example. This has finally managed to get itself back from Queensway, and it's full. But traffic is actively fighting through here at the minute. But with this, I'm probably gonna leave this here. The main goal that I was done, or at least attempted to set out to do, I feel was achieved. And that was being to redo a significant amount of the it was to redo a significant amount of the services in the area, basically to try and improve their productiveness. I mean, let's have a look at Woodhead, for example. I mean, we've got all of these that I'm yet to recolour. Which I've just done. That's a lot of tram, and it's a decent amount of traffic moving along it regardless. I mean, some are fuller than others. That I will admit. Some don't even have trams on at all. What's that? Both town centre lines? Yeah. Queen Street, High Street. Yeah, I'll do. But no, Shaftesbury is... Shaftesbury hopefully clears itself up somewhat. Hopefully. I don't trust it to clean itself up, but who knows? Yeah, that's gonna get itself knotted. I mean, one thing, I've got a couple of plans in mind. Firstly, I want to redevelop Lugshaw, as in entirely, both complexes. I want to redevelop both the MCR and the, I think, I can't remember who built this. Yeah, I want to redevelop it. Actually, check Haverhill's destinations by line usage now. Haverhill's up to 39%. Woodhead, which I significantly upgraded. Woodhead's at 24% at the minute. I mean, it's an improvement, a significant improvement, and that's still rising. Great Torrington, as we've got that up to 21%. And Shaftesbury itself is up to 30%. So, yeah, that is progress. And that is income that we've taken off. And that as well is not just private transport. That is physical cars we have taken off the roads. That's, you know, because cars are, as you can see, in any period of time in this game, single occupancy, private transport. It is so spatially inefficient, it's ridiculous. Cars, they are just, no, in any form of, any stretch of the imagination, no. This is arguably space inefficient for my taste. And that's only moving 6 people, when the tram is barely, is not much bigger than a horse and cart, and it moves 11. But yeah, Lugshaw. Big plans. Big, big plans. And it might even take 2 turns to do it, because I'll be doing it as them as paused. At the same time, Barton on Humber, whilst I want to keep it as it is, I also want to keep it as it is in feel, but I do want to completely redesign it. Needham Market. You basically have no private... You are just working off fucking private transportation, but the line usage to basically the rest of the map is off the charts. Great. Go down to North Taunton. What are you like? North Taunton itself has got a 21% public transport usage. Everywhere I see a tram, it's full. There is just so much untapped demand down here, it's ridiculous. Who's supplying it? There's also not much goods actually coming in. Well, I mean, there is. More like there's some coming out. But I want to now increase Stainford. Jesus Christ, Stainford sprawled. Swaffham is massive. East Ham is... All of these towns around here, they're nearly 1,500 residents. North Taunton's over 3,000. The only exception being Yeovil, but that is possibly hemmed in by its environment, only restricting itself to only 800. But with Withenness, 1,800. Kirkham, 1,000 on the growth. Boodle. That's steady at 1,200, but not many people use it because I haven't designed it very well. The line, I think, is still profitable. Yeah. It covers its costs. The Withenness line. No, yeah, the Torbridge shuttle. The Torbridge shuttle makes money. Stainford shuttle makes bank. That is that. Where's... I need an east side line. East side line. Not actually anywhere near as much as I was expecting. I was hoping that would make more money. With how well connected all it is to it, all of the towns are, well, relatively. I was expecting more money, but no. To change. But no, there's one thing I do want to do. Where are the semi-fast? So you're the Shaftesbury. Yeah, you're now 250,000 up. You are okay. You're just being bankrolled. Needham local is down, but that is fine because I'm about to replace you. Because we have the 440 now. It means my mainline trains actually start to look... No, you're still going to get an 042. And almost exclusively now, you're going to be getting the 60-mile-an-hour coaches. Or what's left of them. $72, $78. Yeah, 84. But no, you're fucking restricted to 120 meters platforms though. So arg. Yeah, I forgot about that. You've got a platform restriction at Needham. I think the platforms are only 120 meters at Needham. So yeah. 72. Another third class coach. But yeah, but a faster train on it. And how am I going to make up for that? Well, it's got a 9-minute turnaround already, so that's going to stay it is. So where it comes down to the semi-fasts now, they're getting better trains. They can take... These aren't restricted, though. These can actually get potentially more... You can actually get longer trains that are more capable of higher passenger counts. Yeah, take you up to 88. You're a wood headline. You are fine. That isn't Taunton fuel supply. That's just a goods train. The goods trains aren't affected. You're a Burntwood branch. How much do you make? 2-ish million. You are going to become a little bit more suburban-esque, and you're also going to get a slight loco downgrade. You're going to get Cascade. But you aren't affected with the short platforms, so you can actually get theoretically longer trains. But they are technically slower, but it's not like you're using 60-mile-an-hour coaches anyway, so you're not actually getting reduced in speed, you're just having an increase in capacity. But no, let's... As the Bista branch, how much do you make if you make anything? You make a fair bit. Bista branch can also... But you do need power. Yeah, you're actually going to... For a suburban set, for branch line / suburban service, you're actually going to get the new train, the 440. I don't think you have a platform, do you? Well, you're only 98 meters there, so 135 with an increase of 28. Yeah, you can do that. And this is the intercity, which at the end of this year will be actually out of date and slow. But you are also getting the 440. 440 only still only does 67, so that maxes out with these coaches. Canonically, this aligns with the MCR's counterpart. Well, not the MCR's counterpart, as in MCR's law in history, because basically we moved away from singles as soon as we were able to. You know, some stayed in service, but yeah, they didn't last. They didn't last for much longer. When, you know, once we could bin them off, we did. But actually, let's go back to where we started this. Or shall we? What are you? Oh, you're a semi-fast. With a decent amount of passengers on board, 80 odd. Yeah, good job I did fact check myself, because that only just fits in the platform. 113 meters, yeah, it's a 120 meter station. But the Woodhead line is now springboard itself back into profitability. I think it always was profitable. Or... yeah, I do believe it always was profitable, but I'm not entirely sure. I can't remember particularly. Because I've spent so long now working on this intensely, my mind is fried at this point. But next time around, the shuttle will be receiving an upgrade. Yeah. So the shuttles will be receiving an upgrade. This junction could do with some work. Yeah, because you've got an Ivanhoe train there. Because what you're seeing here is just a natural compression. Because this traffic jam is caused by... because there's so many signals so close together. Like, for example, here. It's basically capacity that doesn't exist. If that makes sense. So that's trains building up. It's a lot of trains building up in areas where capacity just isn't there. And that was some in projects like, for example, here at Northwich, which was meant to remedy, was just fixing capacity, or actually producing capacity that just wasn't there, that was done through signaling. But with this, and this particular shop that we're running here, and I believe that was one of Flyn's bulk trains. It was an ore bulker, one of his ore bulkers, running in the opposite direction. But with this is where I'm going to end it. I am actually genuinely impressed with the amount of stuff that we just have now. It is it'll be 18.95 when I hand this over. The save will be rolled over and everything, and onward to the next person as we head up to Prescott right now here. But you probably won't get that because I'm the one pulling the levers. As long as nobody monkeys around with the levers of the economy much on here, something that I've done accidentally twice and then fixed twice. Yeah. As long as no one goes monkeying around with the levers too much, we shouldn't be in line for a bashing. But with that, I'm going to, leave it here. I've got a lot of editing to do because this has been 2 hours of recording. You probably won't see 2 hours, but there's been 2 hours of recording here. And yeah, I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Have a good day. Oh look, a train. What are you? You're another main line. Running empty. Ah. Darn you. Anyway, see you all.